I loved dolphins for as long as I can remember. Like every family holiday would go on, I'd have to go and see a dolphin show, or I'd beg to swim with them, even though we could never really afford it. But I remember one year we went to Marineland in Mallorca, and I must have been about 6 or 7, and my nana left in tears saying that the pool was too small and it was cruel. But to me, the dolphins had everything. They had the veterinary care, they had the food, they had toys in the pool, they had people there that was showing them love every day. And to me, the trainers had the best job in the world. I was like, I want to do that when I grow up. But it really didn't occur to me how much these dolphins were suffering. And I was like, look, Nana, like, it's not sad, he's smiling. Obviously, I was like 6, I knew nothing else. It's hard to see the problem. The industry have just painted this pretty problem-free picture. The music's loud, the crowd's cheering, the children are smiling, the dolphins are smiling. It's hard to see what's really wrong. Growing up by the sea was just the icing on the cake for me, really. We'd go to Loo in Cornwall nearly every weekend, and that was just my entire childhood, and it was great. But this one particular weekend, it was so miserable. My family were down from London, but it was tipping it down with rain, and we were all like huddled in this beach hut just eating chips on the beach. And there was no one else there, but then I just spot this dolphin trying to beach itself. And I was like, Dad, why is that dolphin trying to swim up onto the sand? And I just shot down the beach like a rocket, waded up to my knees and just sort of splashed it, because obviously at that age I didn't really understand. I just thought, well, dolphins can't live outside of water. So I was splashing it, shooed it away, and it swam away. I turned around, so proud of myself. So I just saved a dolphin, Dad, and I was parading back up the beach. And he just went like that, and the dolphin had come even further, and it was pretty much like in this much water. And at that point I sort of thought, well, there's nothing more that we can do. I was like, why won't it stay in the water, Dad? And he was like, well, sometimes they lose their families and they don't want to be on their own, so they don't want to live in the sea with without their families anymore. And like, I remember being so young and just feeling so sad about that entire situation. I'm here in London, Piccadilly, outside the Japanese embassy, where already hundreds of people are gathering to protest against the slaughters of dolphins. I'm going to head down, try and talk to some activists to hear their views on it. Hiya, what's your name?
Laura Fern and Faith Scott.
My name's Louise DeLille.
My name's Rob.
Rob, nice to meet you. Where do you come from?
Dallas, Texas.
She's come from America! When did you first start finding out about Tai Chi and getting involved in these sort of things?
A couple of months ago, a friend of mine is involved, yeah.
I knew about it from my lecturer. She put it on during lessons, but still at college.
Well, I started coming last year when I first watched the Cove.
And what do you think about Tai Chi trying to put the dolphin meat into schools for children?
It's wrong. It's basically poisoning their children.
And do you think it's really important for younger people to be getting involved nowadays?
Yeah. Such a big impact coming from social media, and obviously a lot more younger generations use social media. So.
Yeah. If you could give us a time frame, when do you think Captivity is going to be a thing on the bus?
Well, I hope so in my lifetime, but it takes a lot of people to get on board and bring awareness, not buying a ticket to dolphin shows.
And do you reckon you're going to keep going for as long as you're here?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant.
We've got to end this. The shame is on Japan. If the demand stops, the demand stops.
And do you feel quite proud to be British in the sense that we don't have no dolphins in captivity?
Yes.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yes. Fantastic.
If you could have one message to the people of Japan, to that camera there, what would it be?
Please stop hunting dolphins. Since finding out about what was actually going on, I've done everything in my power since then to stop it.
there's only so much a person in England can do, because obviously we don't have any dolphinariums here, but we do have the Japanese embassy. So that's why going to London was so important. And the crew and I, we found it such an experience, because it was so nice to see people that were so passionate about it, and there was people that cared as much as I did and were willing to do this and that. And for the first time, I've been going to protests for a few years now, and for the first time the Japanese flag wasn't flying the embassy, because obviously all knew we were coming, so that felt really good.
Hi, my name's Maria and I'm a Cove monitor for Rick O'Barry's Dolphin Project. For the start of the hunting season in Taiji, Japan this year, I was out in Taiji for a week. Normally things are quite well controlled in Taiji, and you know, everything's safe and it's perfectly safe to be there. This year tensions seem to be running pretty high. Our guess is it's in response to the WASA-JASA change. The World Association of Zoos and Aquariums have now told the Japanese Association of Zoos and Aquariums that they cannot buy dolphins from the Taiji drive hunts. People are not happy about that in Japan, the people that are related to the dolphin hunts, and tensions really were running high. Quite shortly after I got there, Rick was arrested, really on unnecessary charges for not carrying his passport, and a day later, therefore he missed Japan's Dolphin Day, which normally is peaceful protests in Japan, just going to the Cove, talking about it, holding signs, everything like that, but Rick had to miss it because he was in prison. And I spent about 7 hours being questioned by Japanese police around this arrest. Really there wasn't anything to say, and he was released.
I've been going there 13 years, multiple times a year, and it breaks my heart to witness what happens there. When you see the movie The Cove, or you see photographs or video of what happens there, it really doesn't do it justice. You don't really smell the blood. And the scenes in The Cove are really the Disney version of what happened. You have to see it to believe it. It is so over the top. And when this level of cruelty is absolute, we should oppose it, absolutely. And that's what's happening here.
You can't really put in words what it feels like to be at the Cove. I only found out about this topic last year, so it was pretty surreal, really. Lucky for me, it was all Blue Cove Day, so I didn't have to watch any slaughters. But in my opinion, it's never really a Blue Cove Day, because they still have dolphins in the sea pens and in the Taiji Whale Museum. So I spent a fair bit of time there, and that is just the most depressing place I've ever been. I think even if you're someone who's pro-captivity, I have no understanding if you can go to that museum and think that it's okay. You know, the dolphins are just logging, just aimlessly floating around. They have severe skin disease, they have ulcer all over their skin from the stress. There's, 6 or 7 bottlenose shoved in one tiny pen together. Quite a lot of them don't get routinely fed, they're just waiting for visitors to buy little buckets of fish and go and feed them. So they're not actually safe. Visitors can touch them if they want, which obviously is not ideal. Their skin's extremely sensitive. Any interaction like that is extremely stressful for them. The ones that are in the bigger pens, the bigger lagoons, take part in the shows, so they drag people around in kayaks, children get involved in things like that. And it's just miseducation, really. We're teaching children that that's okay to treat wildlife like that.
Yes, The Cove was made a number of years ago. It was a wonderful, wonderful film that brought to our attention the mad butchery and insanity of this. But the media moved away. Many of the big issues for them to focus on. But it's you. It's you that come back here. It's you that's going around the world. It's you that's shared those horrible images on social media, that have dragged this story back into the newspapers, that have dragged it back onto our television screens. We are a social media generation. We are bearing witness to this, and we will not stand up for it anymore. Do you agree? Yeah! That's a victory that we should all be proud of. Don't you agree? Yeah! And we are making people think. SeaWorld's profits have plummeted in the last few years. But huge joy when we learned that he'd been released, and he would be able to continue doing what he does best, bearing witness to the world, speaking out, and being a champion for marine mammals and dolphins around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great pleasure. I introduce to you the champion of dolphins, Mr. Rick O'Brien.
Well, thank you so much for coming, and I do believe that London holds the key to stopping this dolphin slaughter. I've come to believe that recently, rethinking the past. There are no dolphinariums in the UK because of the protesters in London. That's why it stopped. That's why whaling stopped. All the big protests were here in London. So what's happening here today could not, for example, happen in America. You could not get that close to the Japanese embassy.
These animals, you can see it in their eyes that, you know, their families have all been slaughtered. They're completely traumatized, and they're asking for help when they're looking at you. One bottlenose in particular just stayed with me for about 15 minutes, on and off opening his mouth, hoping I had some food because they're hungry. His teeth were just completely rotten. The front of his mouth was just completely broken down and rotten. They get given antibiotics, they get given, you know, antipsychotics, they get given stuff for the ulcers, so they're pretty out of it. I don't know if that makes it better or worse for them. In the Taiji Whale Museum, it actually is like backing onto the cove, so when there's drives going on, they can hear it, and, you know, there's no doubt that they absolutely remember when that happened to them. Quite a lot of the dolphins there are in sort of a turnover process of training, and when they're fully trained, that's when they become worth the big money, you know, that creates this whole issue. They do hunt them for meat, and some people do eat them. It's quite often mislabeled as other whale meat. As we know, it's highly toxic in mercury and other toxins, so it's not fit for human consumption, animal consumption. Some of it gets used in fertilizer. It's not fit for that either, to, you know, be growing your food in it. There's really nothing right about this at all. The people who are involved and who are carrying it out will say it's their culture. If it's their culture, they shouldn't need to hide it under tarps.
Do you have faith in the next generation of activists?
Yeah, it's crucial. Social media has changed an awful lot. You know, the penetration of smartphones over the last 3 or 4 years has been huge. And what it allows people to do is share images and video in real time, and then sort of open up a dialogue with interested people that share their views around the world. And that becomes then very strong. You know, when I do interviews, I've been doing interviews this morning about elephants being killed in Zimbabwe on the television. And you suddenly see an explosion around those interviews as those footage go out and people record and share it. And you really then begin to see a growing interest in the media feeding off the back of what's happening in social media. So in many ways, we're determining how the media covers stories like this in a way that we haven't seen before. Taji had drifted away from the media's attention over the last few years. We've brought it back with a vengeance.
Obviously, when you go to protests like this and you speak to people about it, people have a very different opinion to the likes of me and some other people. They'll say, oh, but animals aren't equal to humans, or get a proper job, what are you doing, things like that. But people don't see that it is a humanitarian problem as well, because the dolphin meat that the Japanese people are buying, thinking it's whale meat because it's been mislabelled, is highly toxic, and it can give people severe mercury poisoning. The human body can take 0.4 parts per million of mercury. Eating dolphin meat for up to something like 7 years of your life can increase the amount of mercury to 18 parts per million. Obviously, that's going to start damaging the brain neurons. It caused Minamata disease a few years back. And the fact that people don't see that they're killing their own people is quite sad. They were trying to enforce dolphin meat into Japanese school children for free school dinners, knowing that if I knew my child was eating something highly poisonous, I wouldn't let it happen. If I knew my child could possibly get severe brain damage or even die from eating this specific meat, I wouldn't let that happen. So it literally is a case of publicity, and people need to know about what's going on. People need to know that the meat's being mislabelled for whale meat. People need to know that going to dolphin shows is funding one of the greatest slaughters of dolphins in the world. I'm in Reading Town Centre on a very cold Friday morning where I've got my tidy slaughter footage. I'm going to go and show some people, ask them a couple of questions, how it makes them feel, if they've been to a dolphin show, if they will go to a dolphin show after seeing this footage. Hi guys, thank you for stopping. Can I just ask if any of you been to any sort of marine shows, dolphin shows, SeaWorld? Okay.
I have.
You have? How long ago?
Quite a few years ago.
No.
Is this something that would possibly interest you in years to come?
Yeah, if I had the money.
Yeah, maybe.
If you were to go on a family holiday or anything like that, would you see yourself going to one?
No, it's old hat.
I'm going to show you like the capture process and what they do to the dolphins that aren't selected for captivity.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you if you've changed your mind. Actually what happened? Yeah.
Is that blood in the ocean?
That is blood in the ocean.
That is disgusting, that is sick.
And that's all because they didn't get selected for a life in captivity.
Look, it's bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, why?
Because in Japan, obviously, whaling's been banned. So what they do, they take this as the opportunity to capture all the small cetaceans for captivity. SeaWorld have bought for them, Marine Land Mallorca have bought from them in the last 5 years. And they missell the dolphin meat as whale meat.
Okay,
So people in Japan are eating this highly poisonous dolphin meat. They're giving it to school dinners for free school meals for primary schools, and the children are dying, things like that, just because the government are covering this up. But this wouldn't happen if there was no captivity trade. But it's shocking, isn't it? There's the way.
Absolutely diabolical.
Would you still go to that dolphin show?
No.
No.
Definitely not. Do you want to take away today and look more into it and think to yourself, oh my god, I wouldn't go to a dolphin show?
It's just that not many people know about it, so it's like, if you don't have the information, then you don't really know.
Absolutely, I think that's what the problem is, because obviously it's so Disneyland. What do you think the problem is with holidaymakers going to other countries to see them?
The knowledge isn't widespread enough, so if you get more people telling and more people saying what's going on, then they're going to know about it. It's going to stop because it's just not okay.
Talking to members of the public was really great because none of them had really none of them had heard of it, but at the same time showing them the footage, we were actually able to change their opinion and change their mind, because when I asked them the questions before I showed them footage from the Cove, some of them did say they would still be interested in going to a dolphin show. If they had the money on holiday, they'd go to a dolphin show. And straight away after we'd educated them, they were like, no way, I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know this was going on. I feel bad for I went to a dolphin show 2 years ago. We were getting those sort of responses, which is what we really wanted. And that's all we're out to do, really, is just try and educate as many people as we can. I'm going to show you a video that is what they've said they've improved the killing method, because when you watch our documentary, you'll see there's loads of blood in the water. It's really gruesome. They just chase them, stabbing them to death. What they do now is they sort of stick a rod between their blowhole and their spinal cord. Also, you can see the dolphin in the back as well. I know obviously the text is I need to look at the dolphin here. In a minute you can see the dolphin in the back. It's clearly been killed before. So it's about to be killed, and it's stronger than not more than the dolphin that's being focused on. You see them struggling to get the cork into the dolphin's blowhole in the back as well. And all the while this is going on, they're literally netted off from their family, from the ones that have been selected for captivity. So then the dolphins that have been selected for captivity, not only are they going to suffer in that pool for however many years they're going to live, they would be suffering from post-traumatic stress after watching whether their mother, their auntie, their child get stabbed. So, well, the question is, what do you think the problem is? Can you see the link between captivity and this, and what do you think we can do as a country?
Well, the problem is that if I go, especially me myself, because I've done it before, because I wanted to go swim with dolphins before, and I wanted to see dolphin shows, which I have. Because of that, they obviously making profit because of that, because they're going to take it from their wild, from other people, just for our entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's covered up quite well. What we're the issue we're raising in the documentary is that it's very sort of Disneyland. Like, there'll be the loud music. Like, the dolphin obviously is born with this massive smile on its face. It's really hard to see the issue, and it's really hard to see like when people are cheering. You've got the trainers there that apparently show this much love for them and whatnot. So I think it is a case of people being brainwashed.